Justine, thanks very much for joining us today off the back of what has been a very busy few weeks for RTG mining. Now, let's start with the recent big ticket item for RTG, which appears to have set the wheels in motion. You've secured a $30 million financing and offtake facility through mining giant Glencore. To start, are you able to provide us with a high-level rundown on this deal?
Yeah, look, no problems, Alex. It has been very busy, but we're really pleased with the outcome because it allows for a step change in where we sit in our activities. So we're now fully funded to move forward with the Mabilo project and get it into development, which has been what our focus has been. Past is behind us. We can hopefully start unlocking the exceptional value of that high-grade mine. And we have two strong partners, in both Glencore and the Villar family in the Philippines. So we're feeling pretty good. Glencore offered us a really attractive term sheet, offering $30 million of finance we've only got an estimated sort of capex in the order of $21.5 million for stage one, which is the direct shipping component of the operation. And just as a sort of refresher for what it's worth, as you might recall, we have 100,000 tonnes sitting in that oxide layer of supergene chalcocite that runs 21% copper. So it's incredibly high grade and drives a lot of cash flow in the order of $145 million based on current commodity prices after tax in less than 12 months of operations. All the due diligence is done on the deal. We front-ended that, and that allowed us to deliver a binding term sheet, which is not typical at this stage in the process. And we've negotiated all the traditionally sort of tricky areas from events of default, termination and the like. So on top of finance, they've also given us offtake for all three of our products that come out of stage one.
Thanks, Justine. Now, following the deal with Glencore, you also wrapped up a heavily supported 19 million Aussie dollar institutional share placement that further strengthens your balance sheet. You must be delighted to have received this level of support from the market.
Oh, look, I was. The support was exceptional from both existing shareholders, and we also attracted a number of new investors because the overwhelming response was, with the delivery of Glencore deal, this project is ready to move forward, which is very exciting, certainly from our side of things. In their eyes, the project has been de-risked, and it's a deep value story given the history we've been through and now overcome. So everyone can hopefully get positioned at attractive prices with a huge upside. To give you some feel for it, our top two shareholders alone had a commitment to us of $16 million, which we had to scale back quite significantly as demand was very strong.
Thanks, Justine. Now, given the funding commitments in place, are you able to provide us with a refresh on the proposed development timelines for Mabilo, and what are the key areas of focus now as you head towards startup?
Sure. Look, from here, we can now complete on the land acquisition program, which we just need to sort the funding for. So we've got 75% of our lots that are already under contract, and then we just have 13 remaining ones that will go through expropriation, which is all funded by the Glencore facility. So we have a mining permit, as we've talked about previously, and as a result of that, you actually have a legal right to compulsory acquire all of the surface rights within your boundary. Once that's completed, we'll then step in and get the last key permit, which is the coconut tree cutting permit. And then we're ready to commit to development. From there, it's effectively about 9 months, apologies, of the development cycle. Very straightforward stuff. It's primarily pre-strip. There's no plant, there's no construction because it's a direct shipping operation. Small creek diversion, some roads and sheds, and a small relocation program. So pretty straightforward, and we think we'll be able to comfortably deliver on that timeline. From there, we hit commercial operations, so that should be about middle of next year. We mine through the first two products, which are the lower value products, but you have to mine through those to get down to the supergene chalcocite. So that's for the first 6 months. And then we hit that high-grade 21% copper. We mine that for about 4 to 5 months. So within 12 months of operations, as I said earlier, we've driven $145 million of net cash flow after tax. In parallel, we'll progress the construction and set up for stage 2, which is a 1.35 million tonne plant. The current schedule suggests that we'll have 4 to 5 month gap between finishing mining for stage 1 and then commissioning for stage 2.
And could you also recap the high-level numbers for the stage 1 development, as the project will generate an incredible amount of cash in a very short period of time?
Yeah, it does. And that's clearly driven by exceptional grade, as we've mentioned. So we only have a capex up front of $21.5 million, which is fully financed, as you can see from the Glencore term sheet. And within sort of 12 months of operations, we then drive that 145 million net cash flow after tax. That clearly is based on current commodity prices. But this project is super sensitive to commodity prices. We've almost got 50% copper, 50% gold. So again, because of grade, our operating costs are actually quite low, but we generate really strong, exceptional products that mean we get a strong cash flow. Our share of that 145 is about 72 million, which is Aussie $114 million, which fully funds our contribution to CapEx for stage 2, and also gives us a war chest of over 60 million Aussie to then also aggressively drill out the potential fluid source in the porphyry, which could be an absolute game changer for the scale of this project.
Thanks, Justine. And just finally, are there any final points you'd like to touch on before we let you go?
Look, I guess for me, the key, on top of clearly a high-grade, strong cash flow generating project, it also has exceptional upside from an exploration point of view. Drilling on this project was truncated early due to a previous joint venture partner, and that stopped in 2015, and we haven't put a drill hole in there since. So the potential to expand the reserves within the pit are very strong. Our sort of in-house target is we're currently at 13 million tonnes of resource, and we would hope we could comfortably move that to at least 20 million tonnes. Probably more importantly, though, on top of that, the deposit is skarn hosted, so there has to be a fluid source for the copper and gold that's overprinted. So we've done a lot of scientific work on identifying the location of the porphyry with vectoring studies and the like, and we believe we've got a pretty compelling argument for where that's located. If we have the success there, the scale of this project could change dramatically, with a target there of 300 million tonnes at 0.5% and 0.5 gram per tonne copper and gold. And that's pretty realistic because we have actually done a lot of work on this, but we're really keen to get in and explore it and hopefully unlock that additional value.
Thanks, Justine. Really appreciate the update and all the best.
No problem at all. Thanks, Alex. Bye.